So 3 weeks after the U.S. attacked Venezuela, what does everyday life actually look like on the ground in Venezuela now?
Now, what we're looking at when we say the life in the territory in Venezuela right now, first, we need to understand that with such an attack from the U.S. against the institutionality of Venezuela, against the president of Venezuela, who was kidnapped alongside his wife and deputy member as well, is that when you have such an attack against the institutionality, the way to resist that attack in this case is to continue that institutionality, to continue exercising power over their own country. That's an exercise of sovereignty. So the institutions have continued, the National Assembly, the legislative power. Today, we are seeing an everyday life that is sort of back to normal if we take into account that normal now means having gone through a bomb attack on different sides of the Venezuelan territory. But people are out on the streets, they're continuing their lives, and that is an act of sovereignty itself.
We're keeping a close watch not only on just how the region will react, but also how the rest of the world will react on this. When Donald Trump talked about buying Greenland and openly threatened Iran, many saw it as a show of U.S. bully and hegemony. Do you see a clear link between that mindset and what happened in Venezuela? In other words, do you think that also accounted for what happened in Venezuela?
Well, definitely it's important when we're talking about Trump to separate the Trump style from what is actually happening. And definitely Trump is very good at imposing this style of dominance, of talking to the media. He is very effective at imposing an agenda. And in many cases, that agenda is Trump himself. We are talking about what he's doing and what he's threatening to do. And of course, there is a style there. But behind that figure and behind that way of communicating, there is a strategy from a major power in the world that is trying to consolidate its position within a world that is changing, within a world that is having multipolarity emerge in different senses, and that is threatening the complete dominance of the U.S. So that strategy, of course, is trying to tie it back to a control that is maybe in some corners of the world trying to slip away. So definitely there is a link between these threats that are being said and also the confrontations with Europe, with different parts of the world. But I also think that we need to come back and just think about the differences between maybe the threats with Greenland and the threat of the attacks with Iran and the actual attack and the actual kidnapping of a head of state. That's what happened in Venezuela, because that was a clear sign that the Latin American and Caribbean region hold particular importance for this U.S. administration, and they are willing to push on the aggressiveness of the attack. So definitely that is the region that's at stake at this moment.